the note here.
Hmm.
Welcome to Respawn.
Let me just pull up the note here. ASMR podcast, and you guys like hearing me crunch pickles in my teeth?
Well, okay then. Welcome to the Respawn Aim Fire, the kick-ass irreverent gaming podcast where three lifelong friends gather to talk about video games. I'm Holden. That's Chad.
What's my last name? What if people want to find me places?
We'll get to that, Chad, okay?
You have to tell them. Tell them who I am. What's your last name?
It doesn't say that in the note, though. It doesn't say that in the
you
note.
wrote
We have
the
to update
note.
the note.
You wrote it wrong. You still have Game On Game Show working title in the note. It's been
I
that
do, because
for
it's
months.
so funny. It's so funny to leave it like that, though.
No one sees it but us.
I know. It's a little joke just for us. Anyway, I'm Holden. You can find me at Holden DePardo on Twitter. I'm also at Respawn Aim Fire, which is technically both of us, because that's the whole deal here is at Respawn Aim Fire. And that's Chad. He's going to tell you his social media profiles right now. Boom.
You don't have
Is
to
that
go on
happy,
social
Chad?
media. Just tell them what my whole name is. Hi, I'm Chad Michaelinus. What's up?
Oh. And his
Holden,
social
it just
media
goes
profile
like, Hi, I'm
is
Holden
at...
DePardo. That's Chad Michaelinus. And you're you. That's all you gotta do, bro. That's all you gotta do. I'm Keanu
Okay.
Reeves.
And
I
you
smoke a lot of weed. Do you think Keanu Reeves?
Should I
smokes weed?
also name all the Twitter profiles of everyone who listens to the podcast? Because we say, and you're
Yes.
you, like, who's
At
you?
Heel
You got to mention
Smitty.
specifically.
At Dust E Hill. At the Trevor, spelled Treavor. At Matt from RI. At the Jessie Neal. She follows us, but she doesn't actually listen to us. That's Jessie with an IE. That's the girl way. I'm just doxing
And that's
all of
why
these people.
we love you. No, we're supporting them.
At Silo Sword. Fez IRL. At
Also known as Busy
Evil
J.
King. No, wait. What did he change his name to? Jerson. What is
King
Jerson?
Snow?
I think Evil King is his display name, but I think maybe it's still at Jerson ASS. I don't know. At Tunic. Is Tunic still out there? Haven't heard from you in a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he changed.
those are all great
his
people.
is Drawbean at Drawbean.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember all 197 Twitter followers off of the top of my head. Hey, 3 more people. Go tell 3 friends to follow us on Twitter, and then we'll quit. We achieved it.
That's what all this whole thing was about, was getting 200 Twitter followers.
We're the fucking video game podcast. Let's go. Let's talk about video games.
We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about Joy-Con drifting issues that are returning. We're talking
Like in
about
Mario
Google...
Kart.
Exactly, but not in a positive sense this time. Google Stadia had an AMA on Reddit. We're going to basically just go through literally every question that was asked that they answered. I found
Like in
all
Crash
of them.
Team Racing.
Yeah, and then we're also going to start off with The Witcher. Had some stuff at Comic-Con. They had a trailer that was shown off. Chad, did you see the trailer?
At Darby Hallman 1. As I remember, people, they're going to just be in the middle of this episode. What? Oh, a third-party quest log, The Witcher. I saw it. It looks fucking great. It looks like Game of Thrones plus magic. Because Game of Thrones lacked magic. It had dragons, but dragons, whatever the fuck.
Some magic in it, but it was not a big part of the show.
Okay, they were like, hey, do you remember the end of season 4 when magic's going to be... Get out of here, Siri! Remember the end of season 4 when magic is going to be a cool thing? We're going to introduce it and then never see it again, except for that time when maybe we light a sword on fire and then we have some Dothraki's things get on fire and then they all die.
And there's the
But
whole,
it turns out they're not
White
dead!
Walkers?
Supplies!
Supplies.
What do we say? Oh,
So,
the Netflix is The Witcher. It looks dope. I am into it. Geralt, I don't think looks stupid anymore now that we see him in motion.
Yeah, I'll say that. I don't think he looks stupid. I do think there was far too many quick cuts for me to get a good idea of what it's actually going to be as a show. But the cinematography looked really good.
Oh, yeah. That's all that
Looked
really
good.
counts. That's all that really matters.
There's this one shot of this guy. It was some sort of like tree in a desert, but it was like a magical tree in a desert. You know what I'm talking about?
God, what did you fucking study it?
I watched
remember
it
everything. You
2
remember
times?
every tree you saw.
No, this was a
Holden,
very
Jesus.
distinct, special-looking tree. It was not like a
I don't
green
remember what
tree.
like Maya Angelou says. We've quoted this tweet before. Right before we said we're gonna fuck Pokemon. People won't remember what you said. or how you said it, they'll remember how it made you feel. I don't remember anything. Can't draw you a mental image of any shot in this trailer, but I think it looked cool.
Well, I remember everything, and I feel nothing. For the trailer specifically. I didn't like it as much as most people. Everyone else's level of hype was really high.
Yeah.
And I kind of said, I'm like, yeah, that looks like it might be good. But I think I've also been kind of disappointed with Netflix shows lately. There's not really any Netflix show that I've seen lately that have been like, yeah. Granted, I've not seen all of them. There is a ton of them.
There are a ton
but
of them.
I don't know. But I've just been
Stranger
kind of lukewarm on
Things 3.
Netflix lately.
Do recommend. Highly recommend. Great. Dope.
Yeah.
Dark.
Not a big
season
Stranger Things
2.
fan.
Haven't watched it, but I promise you it's amazing.
Wait, you saw season
1
3, but you didn't see season... Oh, Dark season 2.
Dark, come on.
I thought you were saying...
Also, auf Deutsch is dunkel.
I thought you were literally saying season 2, it's really dark. Haven't seen it, though. Of Stranger Things.
No,
That's what you were
silly.
saying for a second.
What I think is impressive about this is that I don't give a fuck about The Witcher. Never played the game. I watched you play like an hour of it for, second episode? And
yeah.
I don't care about the franchise at all. Looks like it's super good, though. And it's not going to be based on the video games. It's gonna be based on
so here's a quote.
the stories.
Yeah, here's a quote from Andrzej Snapkowski, whatever how you pronounce it.
I don't think that's Andres. I think it's Andrzej.
I just said Andrzej because it was the closest.
The last name which you stumbled over is the easiest part. Snapkowski. Yeah.
Snapkowski. I don't know why I'm stumbling over it. You're right.
It's
it
like
is easy.
that soccer playing
Snapkowski.
DJ who used to work with us.
Well, anyway, he said, "We're not adapting the video games. It's a straight adaptation of the books, which is great as the video games are also an adaptation of the books. They went in one direction. We actually get to go another. We're kind of holding close to our chest what we're going to be doing in the first season."
At Jeff Mayo. Yes.
Yeah, so I think it's
Yeah.
kind of cool. So if you played the games, there's still a reason to watch this. It also kind of helps with the whole video game adaptations usually suck, but hey, it's not a video game adaptation. It's a
That's
book
right.
adaptation. And those are
That's
usually
right.
really good in TV show form. So
Yeah. Have you ever seen A Wrinkle in Time, the movie? It was terrible.
it was really atrociously bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Did we see
Way
it
to pick-
together?
No, because I'm in Rhode Island here in California.
I was thinking today, when's the last time we saw each other in real life? How many
God,
years has
literally-
it been?
2017.
When did you leave for Rhode Island?
2017.
I know, that's a very long period of time.
Okay, it was like August 2017 is when I left.
Oh my God, it's been almost 2 years.
Almost, yeah.
What if I don't even know what you look like below the shoulders anymore? What if you're literally not human below the what if you're a centaur and I don't even know it?
That happened in 2 years. I became a centaur.
It's possible.
It's
Modern medicine,
very,
man.
very possible.
You know what universe might have centaurs? I don't know. I don't dig enough deep into the comics. Marvel. His Avengers gameplay is leaked after San Diego Comic-Con 2019 panel. Oh, man, I feel like maybe I'm on drugs today. Who slipped drugs into my water?
Yeah, you're being very crazy.
Check out
today.
the new footage here. I'm Tai. I'm muy caliente Tai.
Oh, I am there with you too. I sent a text to Dallas, and then I thought the text was wrong. I corrected the text and realized that the correction was wrong, and then corrected the correction. And originally, the text was fine. That's been my day today.
Very good. That's a big day. You must
It's
be
a big
exhausted.
day. No, just like I did that, and I realized, like, oh man, I'm really tired right now. I didn't realize it until just this moment how tired I am.
I sent 3 texts that were all about the same thing, but wrong.
So we finally get our first look at the leaked game footage. For leaked footage, this actually looked good in terms of like not being super blurry. I got a good idea of what's on screen.
This
I noticed
person was
some
obviously like holding their phone at like belly button level and pointing it upwards, hoping it got the screen.
Yeah,
But it was pretty close.
it was pretty
it
close.
wasn't,
There's
like,
some moments
zoomed
where like
far
some things
away.
were out of frame,
Yeah.
but ultimately I could tell that the graphics actually looked really good.
Yeah. I am surprised at how much I'm 100% on board for this game. We saw gameplay of a lot of different elements. It started out with Thor gameplay, and it looks like they took a lot of notes from God of War.
Yes, except he can fly.
Yeah, you can fly.
Well, float around.
Well, Kratos can jump. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you slow down time, if you're a hummingbird and you look at Kratos and he's jumping, it could seem like he's jumping for days.
Mm-hmm. Basically, when he hits someone, they just fly out into the distance. That was really cool.
You had that option. He like swung, he like revved up his thing and threw his hammer and threw it, and then that like made him fly. There is no such thing as a weaker sex. And then you call it right back.
What a random liar reference.
Recalls it right back, just like the Leviathan axe. It looks like the sound from being shitty cell phone footage of an off-screen thing. Like, I could tell that the sound of the hammer is impactful, and it's going to make you feel real good.
I mean, also, we kind of congratulated the person who recorded the footage. Ultimately, it just means that smartphones have gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I get it, smartphones.
Yeah.
What I think is worth pointing out is that everyone, like, art begets art begets art. I don't know what that means, but I said it right now and it sounded deep. But
that was
Kratos,
deep.
When God of War came out, everyone was like, oh my god, the Leviathan axe is like Thor's hammer in a video game. And now we're saying Mjolnir feels exactly like God of War's Leviathan axe. Oh my god, it feels so good. Yeah.
That's really funny, yeah. I think of the gameplay we saw, I think that the Thor gameplay looked the most interesting. However, it just kind of seemed like you would
Captain
go
America
from...
good.
I have the same thoughts about Captain America I have about Thor, which is that it feels like you went into a little arena to fight some dudes.
Yeah.
Then you have a little quick time thing to move to the next arena to fight some dudes. And then you transition to a hero, another hero, in this case Iron Man. So I think it's very much a beat 'em up. It feels like a beat 'em up in a lot of ways.
I think that is this mission. This mission, obviously, in the whole narrative of the game, this is A-Day. This is the event that kicks it all off. This is probably... Here's how you punch an enemy. This is probably that mission. Tap the square button to do a light attack.
Yeah.
That's probably exactly what this is. So it's just introducing you to each character and their fighting style, which is why I think we saw what we saw.
Yeah, I'm hoping it expands more than that. Also, being on a bridge that makes it very linear.
Yeah.
And because I'm already very skeptical in this game, I personally want to see more before I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I'm totally on board. But this was definitely better than where I was at before with this game.
Oh, yeah. Let's continue to talk about the gameplay. Iron Man. So the way that this kind of hands off is you have all of your heroes, and they kind of interweave the stories, and it handed it off to Iron Man as some flying enemies came by. Yeah. And your comment here is totally right. You can't quite tell if he's flying on rails, or whether you're just like dodging things as he's going, or whether you're actually controlling the momentum, but he's tracking somebody and shooting them in midair. And then there is some combat parts where you finally catch up to them, and he's like shooting. His unibeam looks fucking dope as hell.
It does. This is the least impressed with the gameplay I was.
Yeah,
I don't really know what it was, and I'd like if you kind of like go on the ground, then launch yourself in the air, and I kind of want to see that kind of stuff from Iron Man. Doesn't mean it's not in the game. It just means that in this section we didn't see a whole lot of that. But maybe they're keeping it close to the chest. Who knows?
Yep.
Then there's a cutscene with Black Widow and Bruce Banner, with Bruce Banner then jumping out of the plane onto the bridge and turning into the Hulk, and he just destroys everything.
Yep. First thing he does is grab an enemy and just start beating the other enemies with it like a rag doll, and punch people into the ground. Grabs two people, smashes them together for a Hulk smash, sound wave, gets everybody else fucking on the ground. He's just like beating the shit out of everybody. And he picks up a car, and then he goes running, and he jumps on this wall, and it has scratch marks on it. And then there's another tanker on the other side that has scratch marks, so you can jump to that because video game language. And then he jumps to that one. And then there's an 18-wheeler, and it also has scratch marks on it, so you can jump to it too. And the whole time, the bridge is just collapsing.
That was okay.
Dilapidating. Is that a verb?
Oh, I misspelled dilapidating.
Dilapidated? Darkwing Duck.
What's funny is that was the autocorrect. I was just typing it, I'm like, I think this is right, and then correct. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure that's got it, and then I didn't get it. Autocorrect failed. My bad spelling.
Yeah. At Jerica Hannah. She's no longer Glitch Girl. She's changed her URL to be Jerica Hannah.
She's just embracing her name. No more.
She's
anonymity.
being smart because she's also launching a podcast.
Yeah. Is she? Oh, that's great.
She is. Yeah, she sent me the screenshot of their stuff. They recorded their first episode. Stay tuned. We'll let you guys know when the first episode's live. All the Avengers are together for a cutscene, and then we get a Captain America section. And he's throwing that little disc around like he's a fucking 17-year-old disc golf playing, college co-ed, out there having a sexy time with his shirt off, in the sprinklers, drinking lemonade. None of that happened, but he did throw his shield a lot.
This is why I think I'm not being serious about this, but this is why I think Captain America dies, because Captain America and Thor seem very similar in their gameplay style, just hammer versus a shield, but hammer with electrical powers and throwing it at people and having them fly out is way cooler. So they killed off Captain America for that reason.
I don't know. Remember in Endgame when Captain America got the hammer and it was the coolest fucking moment of the whole movie? Ah!
Yeah, because the hammer is better.
Your mom. Black Widow. Running section followed by quick action events. I don't remember seeing that. Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, when Taskmaster comes in and we see her jump on Taskmaster and yeah. So, seeing all of this, a couple of things come to mind. One, I'm very pumped. It looks like it's totally going to be a fine-looking... Like, I'm no longer concerned about graphics and what it's going to look like.
Yeah, same here.
I can already see some improvements over E3 based on the shitty cell phone footage, and I can tell they're going to have it polished by the time it comes around in May. Two, I'm on board and I'm down to play whatever they give us. Whether it's good or not, this looks good enough for me to have fun with. Three, I am now 100% convinced that I was right, and this is two separate experiences.
No, they've actually said it's not.
There's the single-player experience.
They've said it's not. They've said that there's multiplayer in both.
You can't... That section that we just watched, you cannot tell me there's multiplayer in that.
They've said that there is.
There's not.
I don't know how. Okay, but they said that there is.
There's not. There's no way that in that Hulk section, when he's jumping from those very Hulk-specific scratch marks on the things and the bridge is tumbling, there's no way you can also play that as Thor. And there's no way you can play the Iron Man section.
I see what you're saying there. Yes, I agree with you there, but I think that what's going to happen is, I'll play as Hulk, you play as Thor, I'll play as Black Widow, and we'll all play those parts separate from each other, and maybe we'll get together in certain areas like we kind of saw in that cutscene where all the Avengers are together.
But
I'm telling you, they've said that
because Thor and Iron Man were like in some of the same parts at the same time. But then Iron Man takes off and does his own thing. So they're not 5 separate parts happening at the same exact time and then coming together at points.
I saw this on Twitter.
It is linear.
There's an account that follows Avengers very closely. They were talking about what was announced at Comic-Con, and one of the things was that you can play the single-player campaign multiplayer. I'm going to try to find it right now.
Well, we're still going to be TBD to disagree on that until they finally prove you wrong when it comes out.
Avengers,
that's my new thing. TBD to disagree with Chad Michael Ennis. Have I had drinks today?
Have you?
I don't think I have.
You don't think you have? I think you have. If you don't know if you have, it sounds like you have.
I honestly can't remember the last time I had any alcohol. It was in March when I went home to go see, when I told everyone I was moving to California. All right, next up, The Surge 2 also has some gameplay shown off, although this one was by the game devs and it wasn't a leak. This one, if you guys have followed us for a while, you know that we played The Surge. Well, I played The Surge for one of our barf games quite a while ago. It is sci-fi Dark Souls. Okay. It is super fucking cool.
Stop.
And we've already moved on, Holden, and I can't stop to be interrupted unless it's a Twitter follower handle. So if you have a Twitter follower handle, then you can interrupt me. And
I'm telling you what it is right now. So there's a Twitter account
follower handle?
called
What's the handle?
@AvengersSE.
No. I don't need that. I don't need that. I need to buy in to this argument.
Chad, you just don't want to hear. You just don't want to hear this tweet that's going to prove you wrong.
If you call out one of our followers, I will hear your argument. Who follows us on Twitter that I haven't already said?
@HoldenDepardo does. I'm moving on.
You're right. Okay.
Recap: campaign, solo, or co-op online play. Helicarriers or hub. Joe Fixit, Iron Man, MK42, whatever the fuck that means. Scale, Male Cap, Viking Thor, and House of M.
Mark
Hulkskins.
42.
Basically, the point is the first point of that is campaign, solo, and co-op online play.
Those are all features you can see on the back of a box that features 2 separate campaigns.
Campaign. So he's paraphrasing here. Campaign is solo or
so he's paraphrasing.
Online play.
Nope, he's paraphrasing. Doesn't count. I need it from the horse's mouth, and I need video footage, and I also need the game here to prove it to me.
All right, fine.
The
I just got my
Surge
stand
2,
goal.
the sequel.
You
So
just
I
don't
didn't
want
watch
to be
all of this
proven
because I
wrong.
was walking the dog and at the same time trying to watch it, and the signal that I get around here is not super great. So it was like, and then we're gonna fight this bad guy, and then so I was like, cool,
Oh,
I'll
I hate
scrub
that.
through a little bit. I saw a lot of things that looked just like the Surge, but in cool new city with cool stuff. It looks exactly what I want from a sequel from this game. You saw more of it though. Tell me about your impressions.
Yeah, I think honestly you nailed it. It looks just like more of the Surge in a better environment. The graphics do look better as well.
They do.
That boss though at the end, oh man, that boss looks sick.
I didn't see
Did
the
you see
boss.
Did you see what the boss was made out of?
I just told you I didn't see the boss.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear you say that. So basically, the boss is this like robotic thing that's made out of nanobots. So when you hit it, the nanobots break apart into this like dust and like come back together again to reform. It's really, really cool looking.
At Sergeant Daniel, Sony Ponyboy.
But that's
Much
all the thoughts I
excitement.
have. I basically agree with you entirely. Looks
Yeah.
cool.
Which means
Looks
you
very
won't finish
similar.
It looks just like the Surge, which means you're going to play half of it.
I played more than half of it. I played 2/3.
No, you did not even.
Yes, I did.
No.
Out of the 5 areas, I was in the 4th area.
Oh,
It's
but that
actually
last area also requires some backtracking, and it's fucking enormous.
Okay, then 2/3 sounds fair to me.
No, it does not. Fair's not fair. Welcome to Playtime, where we play and we time ourselves while we do it. This one's going to be 7 minutes and 43 seconds.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
I didn't play anything. Chad, you can go now.
Oh, great. I love your commitment to this podcast. Holden, I played 4 things this week. 1, played some Crash Team Racing, and I'm not going to go on and on more about the adventure mode. I played some local co-op multiplayer. Not co-op, competitive, because we were in a race. But we played some cups, the traditional...
You were both in the same car, driving it
We
together,
were.
hoping you were turning the same direction all the time.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so we played the traditional like Mario Kart experience where you do a cup challenge and there are 4 races, blah, blah, blah. As always, I was fucking great. When we played on normal mode, I was coming in like 4th and 5th, and then he was coming in last every single time. So we switched it to easy, and it was right back where I felt comfortable in Mario Kart. Burst for the whole fucking race. A good 20 seconds go by before anyone else finishes the race after me. Still getting really cool items and shit, though. Felt good. Crash Team Racing, do recommend. Titanfall.
At Alex Cozina.
Are you cheating?
I'm not cheating.
You're cheating.
I am looking at my phone, but I wasn't looking at Twitter. All
right. What's his display name?
Alex Cozina?
No, it's Alex Cozy Bear Cozina.
Oh, right, Cozy Bear.
You dumb bitch. I played Titanfall 2 again. We played it with a squad of, what do we have, 5 again this week? So much fucking fun. I was getting so many kills this time. There was even one time that I was the best of the 5 of us. Still didn't beat whoever the 6th random person was. We didn't win a single game, but I had a blast with it anyway. And then I also played about an hour of the single player, which is about 15% of the game. Because I forgot that was a part of the barf, so I'm like, fuck, I gotta fit that in before the end of the month.
Yeah, I do that too. We get close.
Speaking of, tune in next week to find out our thoughts on the entirety of Titanfall 2. Metroid, Samus Returns. Thought you'd never see this on the list. You bought this for me 2 years ago.
Yeah, I did.
September of 2017. Holden buys me Metroid Samus Returns. I am
Actually,
delighted.
It was a Christmas present.
Was it a Christmas present?
It
came out
Christmas
September.
gift,
You bought it for Christmas. That's right.
Yeah.
There was delight upon my face. My eyes widened. My penis grew 3 sizes. I was very excited, and I'm like,
why has there never been a Grinch porno? I'm sure there has been. Rule 34, there has to be.
Absolutely is. Yes, I was very excited. I downloaded it immediately and then never played it. And then my 3DS went on a tiny little shelf, and Switch came along, and I never took it out. And then I was like, you know what? I beat whatever the fuck I was playing on Switch last. Oh, Donkey Kong. I beat Donkey Kong. So I'm like, let me take my 3DS on this shuttle ride and play some Metroid Samus Returns. I got an hour on the way to work. Fucking great. Loved it. Can't wait to play more. On the hour ride back, I immediately open it up and it's dead. Fucking 3DS battery life. Fucking 3DS battery life. Awful.
It's better than the Switch.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
How was it even charged?
It was charged. I made sure to charge it all the way up because I hadn't opened it in 100 years. So I charged it up before I left. And then, yeah, I guess suspend mode is just not battery efficient on 3DS.
I've had my 3DS sit on a shelf for like literally a week, and I open it up and it still has battery.
Oh, absolutely not. I've had my Vita in my backpack for 14 years, however, and it's still on the same charge it came with. Vita
I don't think it's a true story.
Die. But for real, Vita in sleep
I don't know.
mode
The Vita
can
definitely
last for
will
like
die.
a month. Anyway, yes, played Metro Samus Returns. I will probably get around to it as well a little bit more after I beat Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which was the next game I played. I was not intending to play this game at launch, but all the reviews were pretty good. And then I heard Greg Miller talk about it, and I was like, fuck, he likes it a lot. Sounds like I'm going to fucking like it. Boot it up. Turns out it's a fucking blast, motherfuckers. I am 4 or 5 hours into this game. I've tried it single player. I've got my squad. I've got Captain America's. I've got Venoms. I've got the Bruce Willis. I got the Batmans.
You got the Batmans?
I'm trying to think of my squad that I'm rocking right now. I got Captain America. He's my jam. Dude can throw his shield. Dude can shield bash. Venom is doing real good. He's a real strongman.
Oh, you can play as villains too?
Yeah. Well, if they're part of your team. Spider-Gwen, she's the tits. She has a real good, like, sheep, sheep. I literally just made a motion of, like, things coming out of my tits, but I meant to be like, woo, web shooters in an arc.
I was about to say, like, for a second, like, whoa, what's this game rated?
Hold on. I have my Switch right here. Let me tell you my squad. This game, so it's a hack and slash, like, a hack and slash of all hack and slash. Have you ever played any of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games?
Yes, I have, actually. When I got a 360, I had this like dual disc that had Forza and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 on it. And I played about 2 levels of it and went, I don't like this, and stopped playing. Not my kind of game.
Gotcha. Here we go.
Which is why I never really wanted to play the third one.
So yeah, it is all about, like, here's a roster of 1 trillion heroes. You pick whatever the coolest comic book fucking people you love are, and you just have a fun time mashing buttons together. And then turns out it actually gets hard. But I am rocking right now Captain America, Venom, Thor, and Hawkeye. I just got Hawkeye.
How do you unlock characters? A story? You just through the story you
most of them are plot points in the story. You come across some villain that somebody's trying to fight. You beat the villain. They're like, "Oh, thank you for helping me fight this villain." Boom, join your team. That's mostly how you get people.
Then how do you get Venom?
Venom,
the villain you're fighting.
Venom and Electro were bosses together. They were like a joint boss fight, and then we killed both of them. And then Spider-Man comes in and he's like, hey, I can vouch for him. I know underneath all that symbiote, he's just Eddie Brock, a guy just like me. Let's give him a second chance. And he's like, oh, thank you, blah, blah, blah. I'll be on your team now. Great. The storylines, not fucking well written.
Strong character development.
Not well written. You're seeing new characters pop up
not the
every
point of the
10
game, though.
seconds. Right. It's a collectathon for cool shit, for powering up people, getting cool synergy attacks. It's a little convoluted, the control scheme, because you can do special attacks by holding down the right trigger, or the right shoulder button. And then if you hold down the right trigger, it's those same exact attacks that show up, except for now you can only do them with other people in a combined synergy attack.
That's cool.
Which is really weird. But also, if you're holding down the shoulder button and you do that attack, and somebody's next to you, they can just make it a synergy attack anyway. I don't know why they fucking did it that way, but they did it that way. There are all sorts of systems. There's a big old web of stuff. You can unlock little upgrades to make you 40 strength, add 10 extra experience, and you're just like plugging shit in. There's a ton of different currencies, and you're like unlocking shit. There's black boxes, small little puzzles, but it's really just about running around, seeing cool shit, awesome cutscenes with villains that it's just like comic books coming to life, and you love it. That's it.
It sounds like basically the idea of Super Smash Brothers, but in a single-player hack and slash game.
It is
all your
nothing
favorite
like Super
characters,
Smash Brothers, but a similar idea of all the major characters.
That's what I meant. Yeah, before a hack and slash game. Not
I just fucking
fighting
Ultron. I like it a lot. I can't wait to beat it and move on to something else.
Have you met Thanos yet?
No, I haven't met Thanos yet. Oh, although we did see him in a cinematic.
Okay,
that's
so
the one thing, is that I'm a little like, it's another telling of the Infinity War saga with the gauntlet. Like, it's the same. It's not the same story, obviously. It's a completely new reimagining of how the stones got to where they are. But
we've literally been watching that story play out for the past 10 years.
I know. It's like, I'm ready for something that's not Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
You got the comics,
well,
you got the
Avengers
movies,
next year isn't
you
about
got the
that.
Jell-O,
so.
you got the pudding, you got the Bill Cosby, you got the
Jell-O
rape,
pudding pops.
you got everything. When you got Bill Cosby, you never know what you're going to get because you're probably unconscious.
Oh, that's so terrible.
It's not false.
It's not false.
Oh, man. That's it. That's all I played this week. Oh! I also played a lot of Borderlands 2. And I need help.
My favorite.
I need help.
It won't be me.
I am so close to this platinum. The last trophy I have...
Cozy Bear will be more than happy to help you.
Yeah, well, we're trying. The last trophies I have are reach level 50 and beat Terramorphous. You have to be level 50 and a squad of 4 people to beat Terramorphous. Alex and I will be there, but we need 2 more people. I don't know if anyone else... Dusty, you mentioned you played this game 100 times. You've got to have a level 40 or level 50 character out there. Join up with us. Squad up. Maybe we'll just do another KFGD squad up and just look for people. That's it. That's all I have left for the plat. That sweet, sexy fucking plat. I even started a new Game Plus playthrough on like level 43 just to get experience. Anyway, yeah, that's it. That's all I played. That's all I can do. Sit down and took a big old piss. Let's move on to our fetch quests. So, yeah.
See. All right, starting off, we have Genova Chen says that Genova Chen made Journey and Flower and all those games. Genova Chen says Sky will be moved beyond mobile this year. So it's going to be coming to home consoles. He was asked about PC and didn't mention PC. He talked about home consoles. So I'm assuming maybe just home consoles. I don't know. Not certain yet, but I'm sure there'll be announcements coming soon. Marvel's Spider-Man is the United States best-selling
I have something
superhero
to say about that
game.
first one.
Okay.
That person's name, the character from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, it's literally named after him.
And the island that the mutants are on in X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
I always get them all mixed up. Genosha?
Genova is from Final Fantasy VII, and when he came to America, he gave himself that name.
Right. What's the X-Men thing?
I have
X-Men,
no idea.
Genosha.
I haven't seen X-Men, remember?
I think it's Genosha.
It's probably Wolverine.
It is Genosha.
X-Men.
So there's Genova, there's Genosha, there's the Geneva Convention. There's Jessica Chivas, who lived in my neighborhood as a kid.
What's up with this doxing lately?
Y'all need to change your names. We just doxed Genova Chen as the X-Men island from my neighborhood, Jessica Chivas.
All right, next we're gonna dox Spider-Man. His real name is Peter Parker, and his game, made by Insomniac, is the best-selling superhero game in the United States now. Good for them.
Hold on,
Dr. Mario World. I have it downloaded. I've had it downloaded for about a week or two now, and I haven't had time to play it yet.
This is the one game, for anyone who doesn't know, this is the one game a year that I said, Holden, you have to play this game.
Yeah, I have not decided what game I'm going to make you play yet.
Well, it turns out you don't even fucking respect the rules, so.
What?
I
have
you
the
that
whole
3
year
weeks
to play
ago.
it. I have a whole year to play it. All right, I do have to play it before the fall, though, because the fall is going to be insane.
Yeah.
And I just won't have time to play it.
Wolfenstein Youngbloods comes out at the end of this week. You're never going to have time.
I'm not playing that game.
Yes, you are, because you're going to play both Wolfensteins and Spider-Man before this Friday.
Where was I at? Oh, yeah. NPD says that Super Mario Maker leads June, and the Switch continues to outsell other consoles this year. Luigi's Mansion 3 has a release date, and it's awfully spooky. That's
Halloween.
That headline is from Cameron Hawkins at DualShockers. Credit where credit is due on that delectable headline. It comes out October 31st, if you couldn't guess, based on him saying it's awfully spooky. Cyberpunk 27 hardcore mode will lose the UI. And then Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD was officially announced, and it's coming October 29th.
Three things I want to mention. One.
Three things.
Yep. One, that Super Mario Maker 2 leads June. There was also something that I was listening to KFGD today, and there was apparently Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is on track right now to be the third best-selling Switch exclusive title in 2019.
Oh, very cool. Good for them.
Two, fuck yeah, Cyberpunk 2077, because losing the HUD in God of War is what made that game perfect. It was already fantastic, and then that made it perfect when you played it with that mode. Number three.
I think one difference, though, between those games is that Cyberpunk's going to be far more systems-based than God of War is.
It's a good move.
We'll see.
Lastly,
I probably, with this game, still play with the HUD.
Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD. The very first game I had on my iPod Touch was Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that, yeah. That was actually day one App Store game.
Yeah.
It was $9.99.
I think it was
and
$20, wasn't it?
No, it was $9.99. Definitely $9.99.
Okay.
And I played the shit out of that game. That game was great.
Me too. Fuck yeah.
Good stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Speaking of good stuff, let's move on to Sony, which is basically just a bunch of stories about Death Stranding.
D-Strand, some really fascinating stuff, I must say. Death Stranding character Heartman.
I feel like you're mocking me there. I must say, I think you're mocking me.
Boom! Boom, name that movie. A Simple Wish. Martin Short, you're welcome. Also the girl
Never
from Matilda in it. Never remember her name.
Her name is Matilda. That's all it is. Her name is just Matilda.
It's a far,
Matilda Wormwood.
far better thing that I do now. That's the song her dad is auditioning for in the play that he's doing. And they just sing that segment over and over and over throughout the movie. Go see it. Came out in like 1992.
What else happens over and over and over again? The character Heartman in Death Stranding, he dies. This character Heartman dies every 21 minutes. And he spends 3 minutes on the other side searching for his family. I don't know what any of that means, but it's fucked up.
It's so cool that they have like the backstory of these characters. Also, there's the snippet that's like, oh, and he also has a collection of 20-minute long movies and stuff that media, because he's only alive for 21 minutes, so he's got to enjoy things in 20-minute chunks. It's cool. It's cool that there's that much stupid detailed stuff in this movie. And then, of course, we're going to find out that, like, oh, you see Heartman in for 1 second. He's in the game as much as Decoy Octopus was in Metal Gear Solid. You haven't played Metal Gear Solid. He's not in the game a lot. And all of this doesn't matter, but the fact that it's there is fucking dope.
More importantly, though, we have the box art was officially shown off. There's a different box art for the standard edition and the Steelbook edition, and they both look really cool. It's basically just one is Norman Reedus as Sam Bridges. Yeah, Sam Bridges. In his whole get-up with the hood and the little like thing that like detects the Death Stranding or whatever the fuck happens in the game.
Yeah.
And then the other one is him without the hood on, and he's got all that black stuff all over his face.
Part of me thinks, like, do you think the title is a translation error and they just fucking went with it?
Like, what was it be translated from? Like, what would be the actual
I don't know, it's like, they're talking about, like, we're stringing together things and they're making them into strands, and they're like, Death Stranding. It's like, yeah, great, that's it. And they're like, oh, it turns out that's not a fucking word. We already announced it as the name of our game. Can't go back on it now.
They'd be like, actually, that was a working title for the game. We have a new title. A better one. Yeah, I don't know what to expect with that. I don't know. I think they said that those things, though, are the Death Stranding. They use that term. Maybe they're dedicated to it now.
They're
super dedicated to it now.
Look down at your penis right now. It's the Death Stranding.
Moving on to Nintendo news.
Nintendo Quest Log. Give me that Quest Log and fill it with Nintendo jelly.
Yeah, let's talk about all this this Joy-Con stuff. This actually is not really new news. This was an issue right around the Switch launch. And I'll return to that because I noticed this myself during the Switch launch, but I've not noticed it since. Anyway, so is it Gita Jackson of Kotaku? What do you think? Gita? Okay. Gita. So Gita Jackson of Kotaku.
It's like Rita Skeeter from Harry Potter.
Gotcha. Makes sense. So she was reviewing Fire Emblem Three Houses, and she noticed that on her right Joy-Con, which controls the camera would start to just drift on its own while playing, which was very, very annoying. She also confirmed this with 4 other Kotaku employees with the same exact issue. They went to Twitter and Reddit and were able to kind of confirm that other people were having the same thing there. They reached out to Nintendo, and they did not respond. Nintendo Life, written by Liam Doolin here, he put out a survey asking people, hey, have you guys been experiencing this? 2,248 responses. 49% said all the time. 25% said nope. And 26% said it happens occasionally. Now it's building up where there's actually a law firm, which is literally Chimicles, Schwartz, Kreiner, and Donaldson Smith is the name of the law firm.
It's probably Chimicles.
Chimicles, whatever. I'm calling it Chimicles. And they said that they are investigating a potential class action based upon reports that the Nintendo Joy-Con controller for their Nintendo Switch gaming console can experience joystick drift issues. Specifically, it is reported the joystick on the Joy-Con will automatically register movement when the joystick is not being controlled and interfere with gameplay.
Man, fucking law firms
no one really
love class action lawsuits.
They do. Doesn't mean it's going to go through. There's been talk of this being because of dust to the controller and all that kind of stuff. Possibly. I don't think that's the case. I think we already kind of confirmed what was happening around the Switch launch, which was that it's the signal of the right Joy-Con specifically to the docked Switch. I've only ever experienced this when I was using Joy-Cons separate from each other, including in the grip, but I've never experienced it when the Joy-Cons were in the Switch in handheld mode, which if it were dust, it'd be happening in handheld mode and in the grip mode.
I want to say Alex Cozibear-Cozina is having this issue right now, and he bought a repair kit and he's going to try to fix it himself. But I want to say he was playing in handheld mode.
Oh, really? Okay. Because I witnessed it myself back at the Switch launch before I got the Pro controller, because I was playing on the TV, and the right Joy-Con would start to disconnect.
That was the
left Joy-Con.
It's the left Joy-Con, yeah. That's a separate issue with left Joy-Con communication issues.
So just basically both Joy-Cons are fucked in some way.
I've never heard of this and never had this happen to me, either one of them.
No,
not saying it doesn't happen,
right
but
Joy-Con, I
didn't know this was a thing. Apparently half the people have this happen.
Yeah, I don't know if... Yeah, I haven't had it on the right Joy-Con at all, but I definitely had it on the left at launch.
Was it drift or was it just communication issues?
Well, it was communication issues, but that kind of resulted in a little bit of a drift because like your character would just keep moving and the camera would just adjust on its own or something like that.
I do notice that if I have my Switch dock behind my TV versus beside my TV, that there's delay and sometimes unregistered button presses. So it could just be interference there too. But
even if it were dust, why the right Joy-Con specifically? That doesn't make any sense.
Differently on the inside. Maybe something to do with the IR sensor or something like that opens up the possibility of something. I don't know. I'm not a fucking engineer.
Not a lot of room in there for dust to go in, though.
Well, that's why it's there. There's a whole fucking where the thumbstick is. There's a whole opening there for it to move around.
Well, I was talking about the IR sensors in that area. There's not a whole lot of room for the dust.
I'm just saying it's built differently because it has the IR sensor.
Yeah, but they have the same mechanism for the joystick on the left and right. They just put it in a different spot.
Maybe the left one, whatever gap is in there to make room for the motion sensor, maybe doesn't exist on the left one. Who knows?
Okay, I don't think that's the case.
I'm just saying, I don't think it makes either, sense. But you're asking for responses, and I gave you one, and then you're rebutting it, and...
Am I not allowed to rebut responses?
At Bub Drum, and at the DS Claw.
Case and point. Next kind of a lot of controversy with Nintendo this week. Mario Maker levels are being deleted.
Ooh, shout out to Dane Deasy for bringing this first one to our attention.
Yeah, so popular Super Mario Maker creator says inexplicable removal of his level feels like a gut punch. This is from Eric Van Allen from US Gamer. Basically a creator called Grand Pooh Bear, P-O-O, like Grand Pooh Bear, also known as David Hunt. We didn't dox him. His name is already public. He had one of his levels removed for basically no reason. They just said that it was offensive. But that's it. They just said it's offensive. In what way was it offensive? We don't know. This is the second time that it has happened to him, and he believes, I don't know if I agree with him here, he believes it's because of the popularity of the level. As if, like, Nintendo's are really jealous that people like that level, but not other levels that Nintendo made themselves. I don't think that's the case.
There was some more to this. One is that he thinks that it might also be tied to the name of the level, which had poop in it, or not poop.
No, other people brought that up, and he said he doesn't think that's the case because he had other levels in Super Mario Maker 1, many of which had the name poo in it that were not taken down. So other people said that, and
that's the other part of it, is that every single one of his levels in Mario Maker 1 did get taken down. All of them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And then in this one, he's like...
But they were able to but he was able to re-upload those. And then, because I remember this now, he's able to re-upload all of them, and they were not taken out after that.
Right. In Mario Maker 2,
been,
however, you cannot re-upload it. You can rebuild it from scratch, but you cannot re-upload it, even if you change things.
Yeah.
And then apparently he's like, well, it might just be to a lot of people reporting it, just like a bunch of people reporting the level. And then that was just an automated thing that happened, which fucking sucks because it was a popular level. Like, he's one of the most popular creators of the thing, and it's just removed. And after contacting support, they're just like, yeah, it was just inappropriate, and they couldn't tell him anything outside of that, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah. And the next one was Super Mario Maker 2 level Storm Area 51 was deleted by Nintendo for supposedly being inappropriate. I think it kind of just speaks for itself. It was named Storm Area 51. They basically want to probably avoid that meme and not encourage people to storm Area 51. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's really stupid.
Screenshots of their Mario game being associated with this movement.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I love this quote from Logan Moore, though, in his article. He says, I guess what I don't understand, the point of Nintendo deleting this user's level is that it's not like it would ever encourage any players to actually go storm the famed area, Air Force Base. I've been playing Mario games my whole life, and do you know how many turtles I've stomped on? None. Know how often I've eaten glowing red flowers? Never once. Heck, I've never even grown a mustache.
It's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Yeah, but seriously, guys, don't storm Area 51. Really don't do it. It's beyond stupid to do.
Beyond.
It's a funny meme, but it's dumb. This is
of
culminating
memes, you got a
in
meme in here of just penises.
Yeah, so this
Holden
is actually
just
a
Googled
level
big giant cocks and put them in our note. That's it.
That's not what happened. I was on Reddit and someone posted this, and I took the screen cap and put it in the note. It is basically the meme is it says Nintendo makes anti-penis system in level editors. Also Nintendo, and it's a screenshot of Luigi in Super Mario 3D World standing on a platform that is literally, it looks like a penis, and where the balls are the two P buttons that you can push down.
This is this is a legit level. This is not a user created thing.
This is a legit level, yeah.
Yeah, that's a dick.
That's a dick.
That's a
even
dick and balls.
even the platform at the top of the shaft looks like a head. It's a little bit bigger than the girth of the shaft.
Let's detail
Girthier.
some penis anatomy here on Respawn Aimfire. Let's talk about the crest of the head and the fulcrum. Is the fulcrum a thing? What does that mean?
But no, seriously, it has straight up
what's
balls
the
in a head. It's got the whole thing.
The point on which a lever rests or is supported and on which it pivots. You can make that sexual. That's like where your shaft meets the pubic mound. Yeah.
Well, that's all I got to say about that.
Forrest Gump.
Ready to move over to the main quest?
I think it's main quest o'clock.
I think it's main quest o'clock too.
Main quest.
So Google Stadia had an AMA. There's been a lot of backlash on the AMA.
That's a
Ask Me Anything.
A fight, right?
It's an Ask Me Anything on Reddit.
What's the pay-per-view thing? MMA,
yeah.
mixed martial arts.
Yes, this is the Google Stadia mixed martial arts against the other consoles. I went through all the questions that were answered, and
there are news articles that summarize them, right?
Yeah, I know, but I wanted
you didn't have to read all 2,600.
Well, there are things in here though that are not in the news articles, so I wanted to go through and find everything for myself.
I have heard everything. I read through your note, and everything that you have, I had already.
Okay, well,
heard
I haven't seen all these stories. I wasn't going to seek out all these stories. I'm just like it'd be easier just to go to the Reddit and read it all.
You're right.
Plus, also that
Don't
it's my
read about
interpretation.
gorillas in a book. Go to the fucking Congo and look at gorillas to learn about them.
But this is very different. To go to the Reddit AMA is far easier than going to the Congo. Anyway,
tell me about all of these things.
I'm just going to run through the entire list. Achievements will be there, but
I'll stop you if I have something to contribute.
Yeah, achievements will be there, but they won't be there at launch.
I feel like that's a story we're going to hear repeatedly.
Yeah, it's going to be on
this feature that we advertised earlier. Yeah, it won't be there on launch, but
yeah,
there.
That's also a theme throughout all of these as well.
Also, is that going to be retroactive? Like if I complete something on day one,
oh yeah,
and then achievements come 6 months later, am I going to get something for that, or is it going to be like PlayStation trophies where they fucking didn't make it happen?
It's going to be like that. They're not going to make it happen.
It's 2019. PlayStation trophies were introduced in 2008? Question mark?
No, 2005. I thought it was right with the Xbox 360.
No, PlayStation trophies.
Oh,
did
PlayStation
not come out at
trophies.
launch.
I thought you were talking about trophies in general, like the idea of achievements.
No, those are achievements.
Okay, so Google reiterates that Stadia is not Netflix or Hulu, like a streaming service like that. The one game you get per month is a growing pool of games, just like PS Plus or Games with Gold. Even if you unsubscribe, you can still return and get them back again. The ones that you've already gotten, at least, you will miss out on ones that you didn't pay for, basically.
Just wanted to let you know that I fucking nailed it. July 2nd, 2008 is when PlayStation 3 trophies were introduced.
Great job.
Thank you.
Even though all games are cloud-based, you can download the metadata from the cloud for local keeping. So if you want to keep your saves and that kind of
stuff. For what?
I don't know. If you want
Who fucking knows?
If you want to store it for some reason, you can. There's going to be voice chat.
But you can't play the game. It's not like I can take that metadata and put it on my Xbox or open the Epic Store and use it. Why the fuck do I need that metadata?
Because people are
in
paranoid.
In case you don't trust our servers because
people are paranoid. That's why.
That's so stupid.
Also, how big are those metadata files? Not very big. If you were paranoid and you wanted to do it, just do it.
And you know they got backups on backups on backups. They've got redundancies like crazy out there. Why do I need to download my metadata? I literally can do nothing with it.
You can. That's what's important, is you can.
Keep going.
Voice chat, friends list, and parties are all coming at launch. And then, quote, we have a healthy pipeline of social features going forward. So there'll be some more stuff.
They've got everything Nintendo should have, but doesn't.
They yeah, exactly right. So Chromecast Ultra will be the only Chromecast device at launch to work. The regular Chromecast will not work initially, but it will eventually. And the goal is to get Stadia on literally every single device.
You know why that makes sense? Because only the 4K version, Stadia Pro, is available at launch.
Yeah, they basically
why even make it available on the 1080p thing.
Well, you can still play. Technically, you can still play 4K
they want you to
content.
buy the 4K to play the 4K games. They want your money.
There's that. They also said that we had to tailor it for one experience. You might as well tailor it for this one.
You want money? Trim spa, baby.
They also said that they wanted to make sure it worked with one of the Chromecast devices and really tailor it for that one. I'm like, how different are these Chromecast devices that you'd have to do that? Like, wouldn't you then tailor it for the smaller Chromecast, which would then just make it work for the Chromecast Ultra? Minus, some extra 4K stuff to do. Weird stuff.
I guarantee you regular Chromecast support is coming when they launch Stadia Basic.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Next question was, what is the primary feature of Stadia you think will be the biggest needle mover in terms of innovation in the gaming space? This is how the Stadia account answered. This is, I think the biggest is the fact that game developers don't have to limit their creativity to whatever fits in a little black box under your TV. Since games will be running in the cloud, we expect to see new games at a scale never seen before. I can't wait to see what that community can do with the power of this new architecture. I also think game design will evolve to accommodate for gamers accessing games anytime and at any device. I'm glad they said this because this is actually the thing I am most excited about, is seeing how this changes gaming. What kind of games people will be able to make, because, again, they don't have to worry about a set amount of teraflops. They can just stack multiple
they kind of still do. They've said this, they can stack multiple instances so that you can get more teraflops. You might have to get special approvals to do something like that, but it's technically possible. It is a little black box, not under your TV, but a little black box in a server farm that's similarly spec'd. But if they would like to pay more money to rent multiple devices per instance of the game, which I'm not sure how many companies are going to do that, they can push the limits of it.
I guess that would mean your game would be essentially $120 because it's like having two.
Right. It's either you pay double the price or the game developer pays double whatever
and they're not going
to
in
order to make that happen. No.
There will be data management tools for those worried about data caps. Google also believes that ISPs will adapt. I thought this one was interesting. There was basically a conversation of them saying, well, when we were making YouTube, ISPs eventually responded to that and adapted to an increase in streaming video on the internet, and the same thing's going to happen here. And I think to some extent they're right. It will happen because people are going to want to do this, if people want to do this, and ISPs are going to say, "Hey, people will leave us to go to other ISPs that don't have data caps. We got to figure this out." So
it's going to suck for the first 6 months, though.
No, exactly, yeah.
When people are like, "We're pushing these limits, we want this stuff," we're like, "We're not changing our prices until everyone demands it," and then everyone demands it. And I'm like, "Fine, now we're going to do it. We'll adapt." That's my Comcast voice. "Hi, I'm Comcast. You want to suck my dick? Because that's your only option."
Vague one here, but they're promising a ridiculously awesome roadmap ahead for new features after launch. Well, that's kind of a given.
Vague enough?
It's like, yeah, we're going to make it so that what you get in November is exactly what it is for the next 10 years. No new features.
Yep.
This is kind of a given. Stadia will work with HID-compliant accessories, which would include the Xbox Adaptive Controller. That's a good one.
What does HID mean?
I don't know what it stands for, but it's basically just an interface for...
My educated guess was human interface devices? Human interaction devices? Humble idiots dancing. Hot iotas of donuts. Helpful illnesses, diseases. What is it? Now you look like you found it.
No, I didn't actually, because...
Okay, I'll keep spouting out acronyms. How about hilarious Idaho?
This is really obvious. Hardware interface design. But what's funny is human interface design is
hardware
one.
interface design compliant accessories. That means nothing. That's an acronym that means nothing.
No, it's not an acronym that means nothing. That's a standard.
It's nothing. It means nothing.
Okay.
It's stating what it is. It's a hardware interface design. That's stupid.
Okay, for example, he doesn't know if the Switch Pro controller would meet the HID standard or not. So there are some things.
Is it a hardware? Does it interface? Was it designed?
I think you're taking it far too literally on face value. Family sharing is also going to be coming early next year. In the meantime, there's going to be a parental dashboard which lets parents see the activity of their kids on Stadia, which sounds very similar to the Nintendo tools that they give parents. Mm-hmm. I think this is ridiculous as even asked. There will be free-to-play games. Believe it or not, they will allow free-to-play games on their platform.
You can play free games on a free service sometime in 2020.
Cross-play progression is up to developers. Google is working hard behind the scenes to make this happen. Kind of a given.
We already saw this with Destiny. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no mod support at launch, but they're working with developers to figure out how to implement. So that's kind of the vague. That basically means they don't even really know how to do it yet. They're just it's a goal of theirs, but they have no idea. Indie game support is definitely a thing. Again, I'm surprised I was even asked. No indie games. Not allowed. Fuck you guys. Become
You're
a big company.
Welcome, Genova-chan.
And then I thought this was the most exciting part. And that's that the next Stadia Connect is sooner than you think. And the reason I'm excited about that because this AMA told us nothing. It literally told us nothing. Yeah. This was a giant waste of time. So
many things we already knew and things that were so vague they shouldn't have even been said.
Yeah.
Sooner than you think, however, is not committing to a date, but they are basically saying whenever the next Sony State of Play is, it's going to be 2 days before that.
It's already done. They already have the video made. They just have to enter on the keyboard and to send it off. That's it. There's just a computer at Google right now.
But they're going to upload it to YouTube at the wrong time, and it's like it's going to be PM instead of AM, and they're going to be like, fuck.
No, there's literally just a computer at Google right now that just says, "Are you ready to upload? Okay, cancel." And they're just leaving it there until Sony says something.
Yeah.
There's two things that I saw that they did not answer that I kind of thought were worth answering. One,
these are the two things that I kind of want answers to.
Yeah, so local co-op with different accounts on the same TV. So Chad, we haven't seen each other in a long time. We both are huge Stadia fans. This is a massive hypothetical, and but then
hypothetical needle hypodermic. I knew that one. It was a joke.
And then I go to California. I'm like, hey, let's play a game together. Let's use our accounts. Can we do co-op with our same accounts on the same exact TV? I don't know. They didn't answer that question.
Nope. You got to play on your iPhone. I'll play on the TV.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Although I have 2 TVs in my room that are both pretty massive. So
the other one is, this is just a direct quote, will players be able to choose their language, or will I be forced to play in my country's language like in Google Play? For example, will I be able to play Final Fantasy 15 in Japanese even though I'm in Germany? Here's my guess on that. Those kinds of things are developed by the developer itself. Like the developer puts
That's
those
my guess,
language.
too.
So I'd imagine that they just keep those same options.
Yeah.
But I think there's two important things to answer that they didn't answer. Most of the other stuff was just repeats of the same stuff we saw above.
Why didn't they answer it?
I don't know.
Did they say, we're not going to answer any of this?
No, there
We're
just
gonna
wasn't a
fold our
response.
arms and go, humph.
There just wasn't a response.
Fucking Stadia, man.
Yeah. So
More and more every day, I'm like, I'm not going to play this.
yeah. Well, now that all the Google concerns that I have, I'm just boycotting it. I'm definitely not using it.
I'm just like, it is less turned into the magical. They did it. They sold me on all the features and stuff like that way back in, was it March?
And now we
when
can't
they
wait for
showed it off?
Microsoft to do it.
I know. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be game changing. I can't wait. This is a fucking magical blah, blah, blah. And now the more I learn about it, it's like, oh no, it's just a fucking regular ass service that people are going to use. And like 10 people are going to use it for a while. And that's going to be it.
Yeah. And again, Microsoft is going to do all these things most likely, and I can't wait to play it there.
Yeah.
It's just
Fuck yeah.
none of this stuff seems, I don't know.
You know why? Because Halo Infinite's going to be on that one.
It just seems like they're dropping the ball in so many ways. This didn't answer really anything that we needed to know. Like the biggest one where I'm like, they talked about I actually don't think I included this. They talked about the UI and like, oh yeah, we'll have the UI and we'll show that off in November when we launch it. Really? You're not going to show the UI off beforehand?
Google's philosophy is we're going to dip our hands in a lot of different buckets. We're going to release some stuff, and it's probably not going to be finished yet, but then we're going to iterate, and it's going to become great over time. This is exactly the same thing they do with everything else. Does that not... I mean, that can't be surprising.
It's totally surprising.
The first time we ever see the UI is when it launches.
It's not surprising because I love watching company keynotes. I watch the Google keynotes, and they constantly show, here's the new UI we're going to be releasing in the fall. Like they've been doing this for years. Back in Android Ice Cream Sandwich, they're like, hey, here's the new UI. It doesn't come out for a few months. They do this. They showed off material design. They're like, hey, here's material design, our design language for Android. It comes out in a few months. Why haven't they shown the Stadia? It's probably one of the easier interfaces to create versus an entire phone operating system. They're literally just making a website. Like, show the fucking website. Just show it.
It's YouTube.
It's
go to YouTube. You Google fucking Sony Ponyboy plays this game that's only on PlayStation, so we can't play it on Stadia. And that's the end of you using Stadia. Because you Google a game you want to play, not on Stadia. End of experience.
So yeah, what a waste of time. I'm sorry we put our listeners through me reading off a bunch of information that was boring. But I really just don't care about Stadia. I'm more excited about what Microsoft has to offer at this point. I just don't care. They haven't shown off any exclusive games that's going to make me want to come here before anything else. I have no reason to use Stadia.
They've got an uphill battle to climb to convince me.
Yeah, and I was saying too earlier, like I'll give it a shot. I'll play it out just to test it out and see what it's like in the fall when it comes out.
Did you pre-order the Founders Pack?
No, I didn't. Thank God I didn't because I'm definitely not playing it. And again, I'm just so creeped out and unsettled by Google in the past month. If you want to know why, go back and listen to the episode where we share our thoughts on the Breath of the Wild. It's like episode 115, 116, yeah. And I have a half-hour breakdown about why you should be really concerned about Google.
Dun, dun, dun.
And there's been so much more in the past month since then, or past few weeks. Anyway, that's not important right now. Yeah, we said it all. We're not playing it. Seems like a waste of time. Maybe they'll show off some stuff at the next Stadia event that's going to be worthwhile, but I kind of doubt it. The last one was pretty worthless, and they made some promises like, finally, we're going to talk about pricing. How's pricing going to work? We still don't really know. Even here, they're like, what's the cost of the game going to be? And they said it's going to be competitive. Thanks, Google.
Oh, man.
Moving on to Ryan's subscriber interrogatives. We got one from Dusty Hill, who's also known as Dust Eucalyptus Hill. After the
Eucalyptus.
Yes, that's what the E stands for.
Eucalyptus, Wecalyptus.
Exactly. After the announcement of Marvel's Phase 4, what superhero deserves a Spider-Man level video game? Chad, you played the Spider-Man level video game, so you tell me.
First of all, if you want to hear all of our reactions on Marvel Phase 4, listen to Affable Idiots this week coming out on Thursday. we literally the whole episode, aside from like 20 minutes of us bullshitting at the beginning, is Marvel Phase 4. Second off, Spider-Man fucking rocked. Holden, you have to play it. But there are already a few things coming, like Iron Man VR, from all accounts of people who have played it, apparently is going to be great. And I can't fucking wait. And I could name other things like, we want a fucking regular-ass Thor game. But you know what I really want? I want something to surprise me. Marvel took a game and a character we love and same mechanics and like made them really fucking fantastic. I want a superhero I know nothing about. I want the Guardians of the Galaxy of video games. Mm-hmm. I want a Moon Knight video game.
So here's my thing about I was thinking about this while watching the Avengers game footage. I kind of held the thought till here. One thing that makes Spider-Man unique from the other Marvel characters, maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong because I don't really read the comics too much, is that Spider-Man has New York City as like a central place that he's in. Which other heroes have that?
Well, all of the like smaller heroes like Daredevil, Luke Cage, the Defenders.
Okay.
They're all New York City based. Technically, the Avengers are New York City based because there is a West Coast Avengers as well, which makes it really interesting that in this universe, all the Avengers are in San Francisco for some reason that day. But there are tons of people in New York City. Mm-hmm. Of superheroes in New York City.
I do think like an open environment
Fantastic Four
Hulk game would be cool. Where you're just
causing... We had a Hulk game.
We did have that, yeah.
Open, yeah. You know what though? As I was playing through Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, if you want to hear more about my opinions on it, go back an hour in this podcast. I was starting to have the thought, like Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, they've had their time. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to move on to even smaller, like a Hawkeye game or Doctor Strange, like people who are in the movies. But I'm not saying that I'm burnt out on Iron Man and Captain America and Hulk, but I'm like, we've seen them for 10 years.
Yeah.
We're gonna see them again in Marvel's Avengers. Mm-hmm. We've already seen them again in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and they're like the headlining characters. I'm like, I'm ready for some new blood. Show me something I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I think a Hawkeye one would be kind of cool, actually, and a Black Widow game would be kind of cool too. Because I think there'd be an element of, you're a spy basically, so it could be like some cool stealth elements to it, and then like quick combat encounters. That would be kind of cool.
We also haven't gotten a fucking great X-Men game in so long.
Would it focus on a singular character though, or would it be like the X-Men, kind of like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, where it's like it's everyone?
I think it'd be cool if it was a single character. There was the X-Men Origins Wolverine game.
I bet that was great.
That I never played. Well, I watched my roommate at the time play it in college, and it actually seemed fun.
Oh,
like it was hyper violent. There was a lot of gore, but it was just Wolverine. But I don't know, because X-Men, everything is so team-based. Everything's rooted in a team. But I would love to see a quality X-Men title. And we probably will once X-Men are in Phase 5 of Marvel.
I actually think that Daredevil would make a great game. They don't have to focus on graphics. It can be first-person game. And you just have to listen for things. How great would that be?
Okay, put it in VR. Here's the thing. You just put on the headset. You don't even have to turn it on. And then you just grab a broomstick and just beat the shit out of stuff in your apartment.
In all seriousness, though, actually, there was this game, I cannot remember what it was called, but it was made by former BioShock developers, and it was a character who was blind, and you tap things to see the sound waves travel and permeate to see the rest of the environment. That could actually kind of work pretty cool for a Daredevil game.
Did not review well.
It did not review well. But maybe if they had Insomniac behind it, making it to the same standards as the Spider-Man game, it would do well.
Elektra. I'm ready for a version of Elektra that I don't hate.
You didn't like the Jennifer Garner movie?
Okay, first of all, Jennifer Garner was hot as fuck in Daredevil as Elektra, but then the Elektra movie itself, no, get out. Bad movie.
And the amazing Colin Farrell was Bullseye in that movie, and he was... not great.
Colin Farrell Again,
Not his
go
fault,
listen
though.
to our
Not-
affable idiots for 2 weeks from now. But yeah, Elektra. We even saw her in the Daredevil show, and I'm like, meh, whatever. But I'm ready to like Elektra.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Gwen. That's it. That's all. I want Spider-Man 2 to be Spider-Gwen. That's all I want. Oh, fuck. I would play a whole Spider-Gwen's game.
That's kind of cheating. Like, what'd be different than Spider-Man? Spider-Girl. How about that?
Well, Spider-Gwen, man. Spider-Gwen. Oh, if there was a whole Spider-Verse game and you could get Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Man Noir oh my God. Yes!
Oh. Why didn't we come up with this yet? It's not Marvel, but Watchmen.
Because he asked about Marvel.
But Watchmen.
No, you don't want a Watchmen game. Have you seen the Watchmen trailer, though, from Comic-Con?
You know, I haven't. And want to know why? Because I just want to watch the show and I don't want to know anything about it. I love Watchmen. The book is so good. The movie was not great, but there was some very good aspects to it. Rorschach was just fucking badass in that movie. The Dr.
This
Manhattan.
is apparently a continuation of that movie.
I think it's a continuation of the story in general. Does it use the movie's ending or the book's ending? Because they are different.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is a continuation of the movie. And it's like set 10 years after, and all the Rorschach people are like in memory or
Don't tell me. I really don't know anything. Okay. Don't tell me.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, I did know that. They're like the police or something like that have Rorschach masks.
Yeah, and she's like, what's the difference between a vigilante in a mask and a police officer in a mask? And the woman's like, I don't know. She goes, me neither.
One's government funded, one's not. It's an easy answer.
Nope.
I was going to say, okay, so I actually hope that it's a continuation of the movie, just because I actually prefer the ending of the movie. I think it makes more sense. I'm not going to ruin it.
We're getting off topic.
That's all I had to say.
That's all I got to say about that. Thank you, Dusty Hill. Dust Eucalyptus Hill for writing in for our subscriber interrogative. You guys can too on Twitter at RespawnAimFire and our email respawnaimfire@gmail.com. I don't know why I just had a brain aneurysm right now. We're going to move on to our next to last segment of the show called Game On Game Show. The game we play on our game show called Game On, the game show on our gaming show. And game. We have a brand new game today.
Ooh, I did not know about this.
Never before played. We're going to explore together, and it is all nonsense. You're familiar with the popular meme, only wrong answers.
Oh,
yes?
Somewhat, but remind me.
So, for instance, one that came up recently was you would do a screenshot of a movie, and it would say, describe this movie, or name this movie, only wrong answers. And it's just funny to be like, that is clearly not what that is.
Is this kind of like QI? It's like a game show called QI, where you can't...
I don't know what that is, but this is only absurd answers. So these are all questions. Not only do the answers we have to provide be wrong, but they have to be so wrong that they are absolutely absurd. These are all, of course, video game-related questions. They are all questions that do not have an answer in the video game world or news cycle. So we will be answering these questions definitively right now in a game called Only Absurd Answers. Holden, we have 8 questions. Are you ready for number 1?
Yes.
What does the rest of Diglett look like? Here's what I imagine. Diglett is actually the front of the barrel of a tank. And underground, there's a tank with treads just burrowing down from Mole City, and Diglett's just poking out the top, and he gets shot out like a missile. And that's what Dig is. You know, where
it's actually...
go boom, and pop right back up.
I know this for a fact it's not what it is. It's actually a tie-in with The Incredibles, and he's the Underminer. And
the Underminer.
And he just has 3 little Diglets to pop up to like scope out what's around here. There's Mr. Incredible. I got him. And then he goes all the way up. You don't remember
so
the Incredibles
rest of
movie?
The Diglett is a, what do you call it, periscope?
Yep, exactly.
So they're just connected to a couple of toilet paper rolls, a mirror.
Exactly those components, yes. And then they're connected to a giant mechanical drill underneath the ground. And then little pieces of paper that connect it all together. Yeah.
Perfect.
Nailed it.
Number 2. Is the moon in Majora's Mask male or female?
That is the wrong way to look at it?
It's actually a frog. And just like in Jurassic Park, it can change based on the needs of its environment. If there's all female, then it's going to grow a penis and become a male. Also, you're asking the wrong question. It's 2019. Ask it about its personality.
That's literally what I was going to say when I was like, actually, it's the wrong question. So we're in agreement.
Great. Number 3. Will the Switch Pro be a docked-only system?
There is no Switch Pro, but that's a serious answer.
Hold on. Only absurd answers. They have to be so wrong that they're absurd.
The Switch Pro is actually going to be called the PlayStation 5. And PlayStation 5 is going to have all the Nintendo games. That's what's going to happen.
Here's what it is. The Switch Pro is not a docked-only system. It is an adapter to put Joy-Cons on the end of 55-inch or larger TVs. And you have to play with your arms outstretched, full wingspan, and it's 5 inches from your face. Your TV becomes your Switch, and the Joy-Cons have to be mounted on the side of it.
And the reason it's called Switch Pro is you have to be a pro to use it. You have to be a pro to be good at it. Yeah.
Certified pro. You have to be an Apple certified pro in Final Cut Pro 10 to use it. I am. Holden, question number 4. What happened in Luigi's past that makes him the scared, doofy brother? And yes, I did make up the word doofy, I think.
That's an excellent question. I can't think of these things at the top of my head. You're so much better at this than I am. What's your answer? You already have one. I know you already have one.
I don't know. Okay.
I think he's scared.
Luigi broke it. Okay, go.
He's scared of puppies. That's it. He's just scared of puppies. That's it.
Are there a lot of puppies in Mario?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. His brother Mario is like, I'll take care of all the puppies because I don't want you to get too freaked out. And that's there's no puppies at all, except for Poochie. But it's not even a real puppy. It's like a stuffed puppy.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Great.
He's scared of puppies.
I'm saying the real story is he broke his leg when he was little, jumping off of some blocks that were way too high in the air.
Because he's running away from puppies.
He was on crutches, running away from puppies. He was on crutches. Turns out Yoshi's a fucking velociraptor, and he couldn't get away from Yoshi fast enough. And so Yoshi came along and fucking bit the shit out of him. Mario comes along, beats the shit out of Yoshi, tames him. But ever since, Mario's had this like connection with Yoshi, and Yoshi's always there. So at any moment he could be like looking over his shoulder, and there's a fucking velociraptor that once attacked him that is now tame, but he doesn't trust it. So he's always like, Mario! That's it. That's the story. A velociraptor attack. Holden, will Google Stadia work as advertised at launch?
The ridiculous answer? Yes.
So absurd. You can't believe it. Great. I'm going to stick with that. Yes. Yes, it will work as advertised at launch. Question number whatever the fuck we're on. What's under Toad's mushroom cap?
Remy from Ratatouille.
And he's controlling them the whole time.
The whole time.
Massaging his scalp.
Yep. And also,
no.
Toad is a wannabe chef who's just not good enough, so he found this little rat that that helps him out. Who do you think cooks all the food at the castle for Peach? Remy, the rat from Ratatouille. Who made the cake that Peach gave Mario at the end of Mario 64? Toad with Remy in his head.
There you go.
There we go.
Can you think of any rat characters in Mario?
Yeah, Remy from Ratatouille.
Shut up. Here's what's actually under Toad's mushroom cap. Kirby one day was cooking, because Kirby's a chef. Did you ever watch the Kirby cartoon show, the Saturday morning cartoon show?
I actually watched an episode of it. I watched one episode of it.
I watched it a lot when I was a kid. He's a chef. He cooks a lot of shit. Here's the thing. One day, it was Super Smash Bros. They were on set. Kirby, they were filming whatever fight was going to be next for Super Smash Bros. Kirby and Toad were hanging out backstage. Kirby's cooking some sauté and some mushrooms over there. And he throws in a couple of green peppers. Gets a little oil, sprays it in the pan, fire goes high. There's a little onion volcano, like in the Japanese restaurants, and they're just chatting. Hey, what'd you do today? Oh my God, yeah, my girlfriend got in a car accident. She's okay. The car is totaled though. Thinking about getting a Tesla. Oh man, I've heard about those. Those are great. And then he fucking picks up the frying pan and beats the shit out of him. Takes off the mushroom cap, sears the top of his head, and is just nothing but burn scars, like Kevin Spacey's face in Pay It Forward. That's what's on the top of his head. Professor Quill style Voldemort on the back of his head, but it's Kevin Spacey from Pay It Forward. And he's hiding it under a mushroom cap, and Kevin Spacey's actually Lord Voldemort. That's it. That's what's under Toad's mushroom cap.
Your face is red like a strawberry.
Oh, I was surprising myself throughout that whole thing. My brain is brilliant.
Did you just come up with that right now?
As I was saying it. Oh my God. I want someone to deep fake that. I want someone to deep fake Kevin Spacey's face on the back of Professor Quill's head as Voldemort and then put it on Toad's body. Oh my God. Yeah, to be honest, I had not thought of the answers to these at all before we did this. Oh God.
Your eyes look like stoned now or something.
God, yes. Second to last question, the penultimate question. What happened to the second less powerful SKU that was apparently supposed to launch with the next-gen Xbox? It was supposed to be Lockhart and Anaconda.
It was so powerful, Phil Spencer just wanted it all to himself. So he just has a really sweet console at his home that no one else can use.
Here's the thing. The actual story is they were leasing the technology from Tesla. And then Tesla said, sorry, we're just going to use this to put the first third of Cuphead in our cars. And that's it. You can't have it anymore. Fucking Kevin Spacey's burned face. Oh, last question. What role will Emma Stone play in Death Stranding?
Oh my God, that's right. She's in it.
She's going to be Grimace. She's going to be Grimace from McDonald's. I want somebody to deep fake Emma Stone's face on Grimace's body and then put Kevin Spacey's face on the back of it on Toad's body. Oh my God. Oh Christ. Holden, who will Emma Stone play?
I have no idea. I can't top that.
You don't think it's Emma Stone's face on Grimace's body from McDonald's with Kevin Spacey on the back?
Okay, more logically, what it probably is that they have a new actor playing Solid Snake. It's a woman this time, and it's Emma Stone.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a fun game, me. Thanks, me. Oh, my God. That's it for Game on Game Show. And that's almost it for our podcast. We have one more thing to mention, and that's our barf of the month. Titanfall 2 is our current barf. Wraps up in 2 weeks. We're going to have our episode about that. And if you supported us on patreon.com/respawn-aim-fire at $1 or above, then you voted. And you told us that next month we're playing Doom 2016.
Yeah.
Get your wallets out. Go pay the whatever it is on PS4 and Xbox One. I'm sure it's like $6 or something. Or you could pay $60 on Switch. But get it. We're going to be playing it in the month of August. This is one that I see might be our first like departure from maybe this is not the game we play every week online.
There's
on
a
Tuesdays.
multiplayer
Maybe we
mode.
start playing other stuff. I know, but it apparently didn't review well, and we don't have to do that to ourselves every week.
We don't, but we should do it at least once or twice.
We should do it once.
Yeah.
And then we should play other things like Overcooked.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we
We
got to
keep
do
saying it.
Overcooked.
We keep saying it. And lastly, I wanted to mention that next week's episode will be coming a day late and $1 short. And you can help us out by going into a coma and forgetting that the day that you lost was there. And it's just, you wake up on Wednesday and you're like, oh, it's Tuesday? Fuck yeah, Respawn Aim Fire's out this morning. Surprise, it's out.
Right on time.
Right? That's how it's happening? No, wait, we're doing it on Thursday? We're recording on Wednesday? What is happening?
We're recording, so we're recording Tuesday night, which means it's going to come out on Wednesday, which means the game night has to be postponed to Wednesday of that week.
However, for this week, Tuesday, July 23rd, the day you're listening to this, if you're a committed patron, we're still playing on Tuesday night. Next week, it's Wednesday. So day late, dollar short. And if you want to help us out with the dollar short, go to patreon.com/respawningfire. Give us $1. Boom. Like how I tied that up there. Put that in your pocket and smoke it.
I gotta put that in the notes, so I always forget to put that in the notes. You just remember.
Yeah, I know. That's because I'm fucking a superhero. Kevin Spacey's burned face on the back of my head. Under Toad's mushroom cap. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to us. We love you. Bakalaka. Waka waka. I was like, what does Fozzie Bear say?
He says,
that's it.
Bampanada.
No, he doesn't. That's the end of our show. Get out. We love you. Bye. Holden, don't.